Today's video, now that I've given a 30-second intro to nothing, is completely centered around Panasonic Lumix S5iiX. I've currently had it in my possession now, and I say that because, small disclaimer, want to be transparent, Lumix sent me this camera about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago. And if you know the channel, you know myself, dude, I've owned the Panasonic GH4, the Lumix GH5, the Lumix S5. I love Lumix cameras. And then this camera got sent to me. And of all the cameras that I've had so far with Lumix, none of them have had autofocus that was reliable. And sure as hell, this camera came with some pretty reliable autofocus.
Without further ado, here we go. Israel Friddle, Carter Rivera, Kennedy McDaniel, and Rosario Young. All right, gentlemen, y'all hit them well.
I want to kind of show you guys, and you're probably seeing some footage right now. I've had the luxury over the past month and a half through the production company that I own to kind of shoot several projects with the Lumix S5iiX. We got to shoot Apex Legends, their Kickstarter video, which was pretty awesome because I basically got the game before it went out to the public. And I shot a prototype for their Kickstarter, and you guys are seeing the footage right now, and that was 100% shot with the Lumix S5iiX, and I shot it all on the kit lens. Now, I am going to actually, because we're rolling with the S5iiX, I'm going to show you, there is the kit lens. Dude, that lens is flipping awesome. And you guys are seeing a product that was created completely with it. Now, on top of that, while I had the camera, I want to say a few days later, I got an opportunity to go to Tallahassee, Florida, and shoot another project for Florida Motorsports. They actually had a, how would you phrase this? Polaris, their ATV all-terrain vehicle line, just released what they call a UTV, which is an all-electric side-by-side ATV slash buggy. You guys are seeing some footage of it right now. We were brought in to do an about video. He was doing an about video in regards to the actual unit, what came with it, a little bit more info driven. And then also on top of that, that evening I also shot two product videos. One that was actually indoors with the Kinetic. You guys are seeing some of the footage. And that one was just a 30-second spot where we were kind of juggling around with the 24-105, the kit lens, and we were making a 30-second spot for Instagram and for Facebook. And then the following morning, we actually then shot another promotional ad that was kind of more centered around being outdoor themed, showing how quiet the vehicle was. You guys are kind of seeing it right now. Now, after filming those particular videos, I then also got a unique opportunity to go shoot some outdoor content for a local country club. We shot some golf content, which was pretty cool because as far as setup goes, and I should say this, I love having the cage, monitor, handle, HDMI in, which is definitely nice, full HDMI because we don't have it with the S5 II. We've got the small rigs cage, and this particular setup with the V-mount allows me to, a lot of the footage that I'm shooting like this, or I'm kind of grabbing my handle and I'm grabbing the bottom, and I'm rolling autofocus, baby. Ever since this camera showed up, the vast majority of the shooting, if it's on the 24-105, the 70-200, or the kit lens, we're going autofocus. Now, there are some times where, let's just say I'm shooting concert footage or I'm shooting footage where there's a lot of people that are in the scene. There were a handful of times where I'd have to just switch over to manual focus and go ahead and pull my focus just because the camera was having a little bit of difficulty, or I would just need to click on the screen and readjust the actual autofocus where it should be focusing on. So that's just a little bit of a disclaimer of things that I ran into. Was it that difficult, or did it happen often? Not really. The vast majority of the time, I had those lenses on there rolling autofocus. Now, I also shot some photography, which was great because I had success with the Lumix S5 in regards to photography. I'd say if I took 3 photos, I'd get like 1 out of 3 were pretty much what I was going for. I'd say with the Lumix S5iiX, I would say 2 out of 3, if not 3 out of 3. Focus is gonna be there. It's just, did you get the shot that you wanted? I did run into the nifty 50 autofocus This is a super cheap lens. It's like $100. Autofocus, with photography, it'll occasionally work, but just the motor in this thing kind of wigs out. So just small disclaimer, if you own this, don't expect to get like tracking and things of that nature with this lens. These two guys, it's gonna work. It's pretty solid. Also, as far as settings for those projects that you guys saw, whether it be the golf, whether it be the tennis, whether it be the Chris Thomas project where we shot the concert, I kind of stuck to 4K, 422, 10-bit, 24 frames per second, and then also slow-mo. We were doing 4K, 60 slow-mo right out of camera. And those were kind of the two settings that I was jumping back and forth between. As far as color profiles, on the front end, the projects that I shot, Apex Legends, and also the Polaris ad, I shot that in Rec 709, but then as I moved to golf and I moved to tennis and the Chris Thomas project, we shot log footage. I have really enjoyed the log footage. It's something that I experiment a little bit with my S5, but a lot of times if I'm passing off footage, I shoot Rec 709, but for a lot of these projects that you're seeing, especially the outdoor stuff, man, when I shot the tennis and the golf, it was noon down here in Florida, sunny as hell, no clouds, and we shot between noon and 2:30. It was not my necessarily choice. The client, that was when the project was going on, so you got to do what you got to do. We used the ND32, which was a saving grace, but you guys are seeing with log footage, I was able to kind of at least have some control with the highlights and the exposure and not overexposing. Now, I know this is a mouthful, but I've been extremely happy after a month and a half with this camera. Downfalls to it would be, it is very similar to your S5, except you're going to get some cool features. The HDMI, the IBIS is better. All the codecs in regards to internal are going to be pretty sweet. Now, you are limited. You might need an external recorder for some options, but if you're not aware, I shoot with the Shinobi, so I don't have recording options in regards to my recorder. So everything I'm recording is internally with a SD card. I have goofed around with the SSD slot. It works. It totally works. And you do get to unlock some more recording settings, but at the same time, I'm still paranoid to kind of knock it out of place. Now, when I bought this cage, it does have a nifty little kind of lock in place. So I will be experimenting more and more with SSD recording. I can see the advantages. I love the ability to have like 1 terabyte instead of like 250 gigs. Complaint would be, and maybe you guys could help me out, as far as when I have my monitor going HDMI in, I do lose my display controls. Now with my S5, I do have those abilities. Maybe it's something I'm gonna claim user error. So if you guys happen to know, please drop a comment section in the comment section below. But overall, I know this is a scattered brain conversation, but I wanted to give you guys a glimpse into products that were created with the Lumix S5 II. I've only had it for now about 2 months. But total Lumix fanboy, it was sent to me, disclaimer. But if you have comments, questions, concerns, maybe you love this camera, maybe you are just on the fence, S5 or S5 II or S5 iiX, look, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of I'm a one-man band. Autofocus has really been unlocked with this camera, and I'm really starting to enjoy it and love the workflow. So that's kind of where my head's at, and I already want to compliment my S5 already, so this might be the direction that I'm going in. But if you are in the position of, I just need another badass camera, but I don't really need autofocus or anything like that, man, you can pick up some S5s for super cheap these days. So that's just coming from someone that owns S5, has this. I'm just telling you, I have different kind of concerns that I'm trying to address, and this camera does it currently. So far, I love it, and you can see right now, we're rolling with it. What are we shooting? I'll just go ahead. We're shooting 4K, 420, 10-bit, 24 frames per second autofocus, ISO 4000, log footage, 5,000 Kelvin. And then let's actually, you guys can see there's the GH5. And disclaimer, autofocus is on. It's super bright right there. But we'll come back. We'll zoom into that monitor. Autofocus once again. Camera's doing all the work. It says a little overexposed. Understandable. Take it down. Go back down to the S5, which is underexposed. And yeah, you guys are getting a real-time glance. Let's see if this even works. All right, it's on autofocus, but you're getting a real-time glance at how this thing would be working. And fingers crossed, do me well here, because I'm not taking this out of the video. But as always, guys, it's Trey Lowell here with Lowell Productions, and if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content I keep creating on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. And of course, damn it, okay, there's my HVAC system right there. You guys can see, all right? And when that thing was on most of the video, it just ticks me off. And of course, it kicks off right at the end. That would just be my luck. But autofocus test? Are you seeing me? Hello? Hello? It's like angled down, so maybe if I go. Did you get me? Alright guys, audio might be awful here because I got my lob and I got the shotgun, but who knows? Comment, questions, concerns. Is this video stupid? Probably. Oh my gosh. That's a wrap. At least I remembered to keep all the cameras rolling this time. GH5 off. Do I see the dot? I do.